Sikuyanade Bal Olaram, or hello everyone and welcome. A Wolves Den Games is proud to present Wyld Wednesdays with your host, Geroya'lor Kyr. We will be delayed slightly as to some minor technical issues. We will be continuing on in just a couple of minutes. Please bear with us, folks. Thank you for your time. We are here. I do apologize for those delays. They couldn't be helped at the moment. I throw the air up in my hand sometimes, saying ayo. Not how that song goes. Don't mind me, folks. I'm a little loopy today. Uh, we had something marked. Mizulft. That's right. We're heading to Mizulft for some ruins exploration because I ran into it yesterday. Okay, that was gonna bug me. The cursor for the mouse was stuck in a spot, and it was kind of weird. Wait, is it really all the way up here? It is. Bob Ross. Gotta love Bob Ross. He was the entire reason I was able to get the cover art for the one shot done. Now I just got to finish writing the one shot. Howdy, welcome. And hey, it looks like we actually have 3 viewers. Now if we can keep the number there or higher through the rest of this stream, then that will definitely be helping out our little channel a lot. So that is appreciated when folks are here. Granted, the numbers have a tendency to keep fluctuating. Okay, I don't know if I've actually been here before, but I don't. This is why I haven't been here before. That takes care of that real quick. We'll have to find the key to Mizulft. Vampires. That does bring something else to mind. One thing that D&D is known for is the Curse of Strahd, which is a vampire adventure that takes place in the land of Barovia. Yeah, I can't wait for it either. Unfortunately, going back through some things, I realized there were some very, very important bits that were not covered that need to be. Speaking of, if you're still interested, Andres, we could do a. Oh, I guess I've been here before. We could build a character for you during an Insomnia Squad later on tonight. We will be off around 7 o'clock our time because of. Oh, wow. Cool. So I'll set things up, and we'll bring up D&D Beyond, and we'll build some characters tonight. Prep for the upcoming one-shot. Also, I mean, the one-shot isn't done yet. There are certain key elements that are still kind of missing. But we will get to it. Because I kind of have to. Folks are looking forward to it, so. As long as folks are looking forward to the work, I'm willing to keep working, you know? We don't have a whole lot in terms of numbers or anything just yet, but in order to get things done, it takes time, right? And the more people who are willing to kind of help us move forward, the more we have to give to folks moving forward. I don't know if I have a knife and fork. Oh, no problem. Thank you for all your help so far. Even just showing up and chatting every so often has meant a lot for the morality of, the morale of the troops. Let's put it that way. Knew I was using some of the wrong terms there. Speaking of, for those who may have missed it on the last stream, which admittedly was short, and I apologize for that. But, well, with this one shot and the RPG workshop I'm working with to get it built, and all the additional ideas that you're an Imperial. That means you're a target. Sorry, buddy. Nothing personal. Just business. But yeah, that's for those who may have missed it during the last stream, because work has been, well, work. Andres, aka Alex, is our first patron over on our Patreon page. For anybody else who might be willing to help us out, why is my cam off? My webcam's acting up and I didn't even notice it. You may notice the links right there on the page. If you'll give me one moment to find a spot where I can be reasonably sure I won't be stumbled upon. Like up a mountainside. Harder for stuff to come at me if I'm up a mountain. I mean, even the times you've just hopped into Discord just to say hi, that has been enough to keep things moving forward, and I personally really appreciate that. So thank you for that. Let me see if I can get that webcam fixed real quick. They've walked you through Horizon Zero Dawn. Thank you. You're not supposed to have that come on just because I'm jumping over to another scene, okay? Those can wait. And there we go. Okay. Much better. But yeah, well, the way I see it, everybody kind of deserves compliments at times, right? Life's hard enough. If we're there for each other as a community, then it's kind of deserved. And there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Have I been to that one? I don't know if I have. I'm gonna go check that out. Yeah, I have a tendency to have trouble taking compliments myself. We're kind of hardwired that way as human beings, aren't we? We're more used to people being critical and having to be defensive, and when you do something that people like and a bunch of people just like, hey, that's really cool, and they get into it, then it kind of takes me off guard. So like when we're writing our games and stuff, I try to make sure that they're interesting enough to make them worthwhile. But honestly, I'm so new to the game, to tabletop role-playing games in general, that if I were to make a good game, I mean, I'd be very proud of that, but I'd be more surprised than anything else, because until I started taking this RPG workshop, I was mostly, this is what sounds interesting to me, so this is what I'm gonna write. And it was just basically taking my novels, I'd missed that. Sorry, Miss Adika. Who's here? Who saw me? I have to take the mushrooms. Those are for Caduceus. That's not something that I can... Hi, how you doing? Never should have come. Wait, really?
Where'd you come from?
I was being nice. I could have killed him when he was still mining. But no.
Done and done.
I know that some folks may not realize it, but I know that Matthew Mercer himself has talked about it, but what's referred to as imposter syndrome, where you're just doing the work you do because you enjoy doing the work, and all of a sudden people start noticing you, and it's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just doing what makes sense to me, and then feeling inadequate because of those facts. Because maybe you're new to something, or any of those kinds of things. And if folks really stop to think about it, kids, here's probably the biggest secret about being an adult. None of us know what the heck we're doing. Howdy. I'm good at the moment, thank you though. Yeah, I'm all full on coffee and some Skyrim. Okay, great chemistry. So you'd be looking for somebody with high charisma, most likely. Um, so let's see. High charisma would be generally the classes that focus on charisma. I mean, all the classes can use high charisma, but Bard is one of them. Warlock is another, uh, which I hadn't really realized until
Something's not right here.
Travis
Be
playing
careful.
Ford.
I think we may be in for some trouble.
Trouble? Trouble I can handle. Is there danger? 'Cause danger is my middle name. Seriously, it is.
Where'd you come from?
I have two middle names, and one of them is actually Danger. I got 3 hits on him before he was able to hit me with a shout. I'll go with that. That the best you got, man? I came around the corner and he was just standing there. I was like, run. And then I went, no, 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 no. I'm a high-level rogue now. High-level rogue means don't run, take him out. Like Vax'ildan with his insta-kills. Yeah. I mean, again, it all depends on... Like, another great high charisma rogue would be, like a mastermind. Mastermind rogue, because as a con man, you gotta be able to talk people out of their money. Granted, I also think it'd be really, really cool to write an all-rogue one-shot. Kind of like, for folks who may be familiar, the TV show Leverage. I mean, high charisma can be used just about anywhere.
Who's there?
Charisma is mainly your persuasion, your
I knew I heard something.
uh, intimidation factor, your
Done and done.
talking your shopkeepers into better prices, things like that. Wow, we're even being hosted. Thank you, Set. That's very cool. Much appreciated. We don't often get hosted. So that's always appreciated. I know that we try and host who we can, if only to give more. Okay, let's see. As far as races, it all depends on what particular racial traits you want to add to it. Hello, Bay. Welcome. Wow, hosted. We're at 4 viewers. This is turning out to be a pretty good day as far as a stream, and I'm sure that other more experienced D&D players in chat might be able to help out with some of the questions there. Um, I mean, first, my very first thought when you mention a race with good senses would be Tabaxi. That's just off the top of my head, though. Mostly because, well, Tabaxi is basically Khajiit. And cats have a tendency to have hooded black. I don't think I've seen hooded robes before on here. That's unusual. I've no idea. I don't think I've ever been to this location before in all the times I've played this game. So this is definitely, sure, I'll take the jug for grog, just because I don't remember running across one before. This is kind of why I like just doing the exploration stuff. Okay, I think these were enchanted. I'd have to double check them. But I don't remember having seen robes that had the hood attached before.
Who are you to disrupt my work? Begone, or I will add you to my army of the dead.
Who? Where? Up there?
Where'd you come from?
Can we drop that other one too?
Teamwork right there. Who's there?
Teamwork? What did she do? Iron arrow? No wonder. We need better arrows. I don't want to use those yet. We got those. Those will work. Was that the person who was making the threats? Because if so, that was a little too easy. That can't be it. Dagger, dagger, dagger.
Who's there? Teamwork right there.
There we go. Dagger, dagger, dagger. Speaking of. No cabbages. I'm a little suspicious. Why are there no cabbages? Oh, 1 second. Yeah, definitely quick save. 1 second. Sorry about that. At least I caught the cough before it got bad. And we're on 342 for those following at home. But yeah, as far as the races, the first one that comes to mind regarding... Oh, take those for Keyleth. The main reason why I tend to think Tabaxi first is just because cats being cats. However, Drow have excellent night vision. Admittedly, there are certain aspects to the Drow that I tend to not necessarily
Rise from your graves to defeat
ignore,
this worm.
Where'd you come from?
but rather I have issues with the whole concept of alignment in the first place.
Done and done.
Did whoever this was actually think this would slow me down? Let alone stop me? 'Cause I mean, wow. I was expecting at least a little more of an oomph. Actually, most clerics have that ability. There are also necromancers. It all just kind of depends on what kind of overall story you're trying to tell, for the most part. Depends on character background and what plans that character has for their future, which doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what's going on currently in the game or with the party. In fact, I kind of find it more interesting that way, because then players are kind of forced to sit there and think, okay, when I'm done... Good thing she's pretty much immortal, huh? Sorry, Laura, I didn't see it there. I'm hoping that's it. She forgives me. Okay, with that kind of thing, I would say a character designed to be able to interact with the majority of folks would help. Let's see. For my world, someone who would be most open to dealing with some of the folks that would show up would need to be somebody who's probably relatively close to the equator of the world. So I would need a I'll need to figure out a rough town. either that or your character could actually be from a small mining town called Calumet, which actually would explain a lot of that. Um, Calumet, which is the main town from... Is there something I... Oh, yeah. Calumet being a town that is in the middle of Fey-held or Fey-controlled territory, meaning I think I've already been there. Pretty sure I've already been there. The fairy courts. Below the equator, it would be more specifically the winter court.
Where'd you come from?
If she hadn't spoken, then the cutscene actually would have been the kill shot. What the heck, Skyrim? The mining town is deep in Fey-controlled territory, Winter Court territory. So pretty much each of the available playable races have all kind of gathered together in this town as a small community in order to survive against the much bigger threat of the quasi-immortal. If that makes any sense to folks at all. I mean, I understand it's a little confusing as my world works a little unusually. Well, maybe I have been here. I kind of remember something like this. But I think it was for an actual quest.
That'll teach you.
Oh, no. I gotta switch bows for this. I need that one.
Where'd you come from?
Ooh.
Teamwork right there.
Oh, I had hit it. I wasn't expecting that. As weird as that sounds. But yeah, it's this little mining town, and it's isolated, and everybody kind of works together because mostly they don't really have a whole lot of choice, you know? They could sit here and fight each other like the traditional, following the traditional beliefs of their those who came before them. Okay, so where is the... There will be clues. I just got to figure out where those clues are. So it's going to be a 1, 2, 3 thing. Is it over here? Nope. I'm not seeing... Oh, it's probably in the book, huh? I bet it is. Let's see. Let's check the book. Suddenly reminded of Armageddon at the very beginning. Really? Am I on? Oh, what is that? Aha, found one. Bird, snake, whale. That's what it looks like. Wait. How many pillars? There's... Okay. Bird, snake, whale, snake. That's what I think that's what it said. Took me a minute to find it. So this was bird. Yeah, the beginning of Armageddon, when the guy wants his book with the names of the guys from NASA on it. And he keeps yelling to her to get his book. Okay. Of course, I should probably pay more attention to Skyrim puzzles, because usually I just throw riddles into my games, because riddles can be so much more fun to watch people like walk right past the answer, or think right past the answer, I guess would be the better term. So you don't enjoy it, but you're gonna play some more. Interesting. Here we go. Funny how, yet again, this is one of these things where it's just, hey, what's this over here? Let's go do this. For Carl! That's one of the actual battle cries of one of the cards on Hearthstone. Thought it was hilarious. I was like, what happened to Carl? And then not long after we ended up hearing that on Hearthstone, that's when that skull was brought home. So I was like, hey, now we actually have a Carl. Hello, Phantom Omaha, welcome. Stop stepping on traps, Serana. I almost said the wrong name. Which actually would have been funny, because I would have been mentioning the name of somebody from the Dragonlance Chronicles, a series of books that are based on D&D. An actual D&D campaign, if I remember correctly. Some writers who had taken their campaign and turned it into a novelized form. I could be wrong on that. Has one of the coolest evil characters in the history of, well, D&D, at least in my personal opinion. Partly because he is entirely understandable. Doesn't make him in any way right, but it's kind of a trip to watch him walk willingly into darkness. If I remember correctly, Okay, those are all enchanted, so I have to take them all. I don't know what that was for, but I'm hoping it'll help. Shop.
Who's there?
Whoa. Where'd he come from? That was crazy. Was she? She was still just stuck in there, wasn't she? Yeah, Dragonlance has a character by the name of Lorana. Here, hold that one.
Where'd you come from?
I shall have vengeance for the death of my husband. Rise!
Right there.
Yeah, I'd call that teamwork. That was more than I was expecting. Thank you for the follow. Welcome all.
What is it? Finished?
That's... yes. Dag nabbit. I wasn't trying to talk to her. Didn't mean to pick up that one guy's weapon either, but oh well. But yeah, we were, when I was in high school, junior high, one of those, I had first run across the Dragonlance novels, and I was like, wow, this is intense. But I never actually got a chance to play the game until last year. So I've got quite a bit of catching up to do, especially since I tend to write for D&D at this point. Interesting. Well, I'm glad you handled it. D&D is awesome. I am so glad I got into it, and I am so glad that a friend of mine had said, hey, you should check out this show on Twitch. And I was like, okay, whatever. Here I am, almost 2 years later, and I am still entirely hooked on Critical Role and D&D, and the inspiration that both of those put together have done to help. Now I'm caring too much. This will be easy. I know there's stuff I've picked up that I don't need. I don't need that. Unless it's enchanted. If it's enchanted. What was that? Really? Oh, I guess that was enough. At least for now. Yeah, we're slowly working toward upgrading everything over here. Most of our work is done writing for a new setting for 5th edition rules. I only recently found out that there is a company that has put together a Stargate RPG for the 5th edition system as well. Awesome! See, when we can all just find the things we have in common, instead of letting other folks kind of point out the differences and use that to divide us, we're a lot stronger as people when we've got understanding folks we can rely on to be there when times are bad and when times are good, to hang out and laugh. And that was like me on, well, that was like me after the first game of Arena the other night. Was, okay, I lost again, because I kind of expected it. Rogue's got a rogue. Gotta take the dagger. Daggers are for Vax. In fact, a lot of the items that we pick up during our Skyrim runs are in honor of various D&D characters. So yeah, we're big fans of D&D and tabletop in general. Uh-oh. Here, hold this. How about that one? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm very new to the whole tabletop gaming thing. Admittedly, Zelda was probably my first RPG, followed by, like, this one. I don't know why, but I never got into, like, Final Fantasy. Not that I have an issue with it, just maybe I just didn't have access to the game at the time, to any of them, and I just haven't had a chance to pick them up since. But yeah, I love the creativity and the inspiration, as well as the absolute nonsense that happens when you start getting bad dice rolls, or good dice rolls, depending. I mean, the other night, to be perfectly fair, I was DMing, and the party should have
I
had...
could not raise him, but I will raise an army to avenge his defilement.
That's better. There you are. Thanks, guys. I just needed to know where you were so that I could, you know, take you out. Yep. He who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. Yeah, my party was looking actively at a TPK. And it was one of their own choosing, actually. So, yeah, things got intense. And thanks to some decent dice rolls and the fact that the party was not the... they were no real threat to the hags. And the hags had no personal reason to go after them. Oh, I have no idea how I survived that. don't want the... That's the one I want. I'll worry about dropping more weight here in a bit. Wait. Well, that can go and that can go. I don't know how I missed those last time. Don't need that. Much appreciated. Still not enough. Yeah, those are enchanted. I got plenty of that stuff. Okay. So, I'm guessing I need to go this way then. I was almost squished into the ceiling. Now in D&D, that would have meant, well, time to roll a new character. Luckily with games like this, you have the ability to save, so that if you blunder into something like I just had, you get a chance to give it another go. Kind of like that whole concept in D&D though, needing to kind of weigh the decisions and the consequences. I mean, early on it doesn't really have as big a deal. You're not as invested in your character, so if something happens, oh well, let's give it another go. Unless you're like Chris Perkins, one of the actual people who works at D&D directly, and well, he played a character named Spurt, a little kobold something or other, and kobold inventor, I think. And down.
Who's there?
Take out the spellcaster, and all their spells no longer work. That's the key thing to remember there. Same thing works in D&D.
Thank you for releasing us from her spell.
Now we can rest in peace once again.
Welcome.
Come, Fury, my love.
Take this with our gratitude.
Take what now? Ooh. I'll take that. Yeah. That worked out nicely. Again, this is just randomly wandering. Didn't have a quest to come here. Just got up and started moving. It was like, what's over here? Couldn't get it in Resolved because we don't have the key. We'll find a key. We'll get there. Also, I'm hoping that very soon we may be able to actually get that subscriber button. I don't know if folks would be interested in that or not, but it does allow another option to... oh, that also means that if we do get our subscriber button, that would mean that our channel emotes would then go live as well. So everybody would be able to use them. And we'd be able to add more, too. The whole AWDG Carl emote, and the Rogue's Got a Rogue. If anybody has any other ideas that kind of fit our channel, please feel free to let us know, and I'll see about at least working a test run of something in. If it works out, then maybe we can keep it. Once things go live, that kind of thing. Depends on what folks are interested in. But yeah, I've been given some kind of conflicting information regarding just how that subscriber button shows up and all. But David Hewlett, Dr. McKay himself, did happen to mention, or actually I believe it was his son. Yeah, it was his son who had actually mentioned that the subscriber button shows up on affiliate. Partner just gets you additional stuff. And we've been very, very close to affiliate for quite a while. So I'm hoping, keep your fingers crossed, folks, that maybe we'll end up with that. Maybe it'll help start increasing what we're able to do at a faster rate. And we've got, I mean, it's kind of weird because while I'm writing the one shot, certain ideas come up and I go, ooh, okay, and I have to stop a second, write down a few notes for another possible one shot, or a section for inclusion into the campaign setting guide itself. And it's a little bit of back and forth, and for that's why I apologize that some of the one-shot stuff is taking a little longer than intended. But there's also the fact that there's also the bit where the fact that I haven't quite finished the RPG Writers Workshop yet. So I don't know I don't have all the information that workshop is going to give me just yet. The one shot itself, thankfully, actually is looking better than it did when our publisher looked at it and said, you know, this looks good. And thanks to a couple more lessons and a few more bits of insight from the instructors there, there are some new things that are needing to be worked into things, but it'll make it a lot more fun and a lot more interesting as things proceed. And if nothing else, it'll be entertaining. That much I can pretty much guarantee.
Where'd you come from?
Down, boy. Why am I back to iron arrows? Because I only... Oh, that's why. Because there weren't any elven ones left. Where am I supposed to go? And why am I supposed to go there? is that for? Okay, I'll go here, and then I'll slip in from above, catching them entirely off guard. Because, well, rogue's got a rogue, you know? That sneak attack damage plus the paralysis bit, or the chance for paralysis for having the archery up to 100 is kind of intense. I don't think I've even been in there. I cleared Hag's End, I think, on accident. So this should be kind of interesting. It's also kind of funny how much of this is just me being, I need cash. What's over here? Because we're still trying to get the 8,000 gold to purchase the last house. And then we need the money to furnish it after that. And what I could do is just go raid my houses and sell a bunch of stuff. Which would not be difficult at all, and that wouldn't even be touching the enchanted stuff. That'd be kind of interesting though, wouldn't it? Now if I come around from this side, then I should have the entire mountain to help cover me from... Am I crazy? Yes, I am. Does it work? More often than not. Okay, I guess I gotta go this way then. Oh, he's up there? Oh, he's inside. Took an arrow to the knee, huh? Where are you? Crap. What was that?
Where'd you come from?
Right in the head. That must have hurt.
That'll teach you.
What hit me? I have no idea. Now we'll go clear this out just to get this finished up. and then I'll take a short little break. I do hope folks will join us following this for some pub draw if you want some relaxing artwork and music. I kind of have to watch it at this point because I can't afford an artist. So that means I got to teach myself how to do it. And nothing wrong with that. I mean, if I had the money, I'd definitely pay an artist because then I can help someone else get their work featured, you know? In fact, I even have somebody in mind. And I believe they're hosting us currently. It's just getting finances together to be able to do something like that.
Done and done.
Takes work and takes time. But is usually worth it in the end.
Who's there?
A corpse? And I'm gonna guess another corpse here in just a second.
Who's there?
Thought I heard something.
You did.
Teamwork right there.
Only 'cause I didn't have a shot, Serana. That would have been my shot, too. Oh, that was a dagger. Okay, that can't be right. I gotta go up that way? Maybe? Kinda looks that way because unless, let's see, I don't think I can climb up to there. So yeah, it's got to be back this way. It's just finding it. Oh, it's probably right there. That's what I get for paying more attention to the bad guys than my way through the... Ooh. That... Ow. I'm gonna apologize for that one. Right in the throat. Well then, move out of the way. I know that was probably my fault. And I do apologize for any motion issues. I can completely understand the whole trying to pay attention to all of this, especially when, as a player, I gotta kind of try and keep an eye on stuff before I go that way. Thank you. At least she backed up that time. There we go. Whoops. No. Yeah, that one was my fault. I do have one of the dogs back at the house. The other one jumped between me and a target
Where'd you
the moment I fired an arrow. So between the damage the enemy was dealing and the arrow that the dog jumped into the arc of, kind of took him out, and I felt really bad about it. And then they wouldn't let me keep the dog's armor either, which kind of annoyed me because banding armor would be really cool to save. Yeah, the doggo caught the stick, just not in any way that was really conducive to his health. Okay, wait. That's where I came in, so I gotta go this way. Lost track of where I was. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It was unintentional, but such is life. Sometimes things just happen. There's nothing we can really do about it. No way we could have controlled the events. And best way of dealing with moments like that is usually with the help of family, friends, and community. And a decent board game. At least a tabletop game. But then, yet another thing about D&D, people can face difficult choices and moments and issues, and no matter what happens at the table, as long as it's done properly, and Matthew Mercer is very good at that, it can help deal with certain issues emotionally. It can make you feel better about yourself. It can make you notice things from a completely different point of view. It's actually kind of amazing how helpful it is.
This is gorgeous.
This
I'm glad you're here with me.
This kind of is gorgeous. Wait, is this where I can get the arrows blessed again?
Is someone there?
Where'd you come from?
Where'd who come from? Really? Here, hold that. Got something for you too. Hi buddy, how you doing? Really? Oh, whoops. Here, hold that. Too close.
I cannot.
Dag nabbit. Nobody good, I can tell you that. Whoops, I didn't mean to put the bow away.
Victory's yours, I submit!
Wait, he actually ran? Huh. I've never seen one of them actually retreat before. I mean, I've seen folks go to their knees and sit there and say, you win, but then they usually get back up and come at you. You're the target. Okay. Wait, that's right. One of those. One of those. And he's down.
Who's there? I knew I heard something.
He's down.
That'll teach you.
Sounded like she died before the arrow got to her. Take those and that. So, what then is this over here? Or rather up here? Oh. Okay. Well, that was that. Now we need to go where? We'll collect the bounty. I have no idea what the heck just happened. Okay, considering the time and the fact that I went way over where I intended to take a break, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and run, and we're going to end a little early, but it'll be,
Sibyl Stentor has a grasp of magical theory.
it'll be before pub draw starts, but it'll be like during their opening run of things, their pre-show, I guess you'd call it. And then that way I can get a few things done around the house, get some work done on the one-shot, and practice some of my drawing so that we will be ready in time later on tonight to be able to make a D&D character with our patron. Maybe even more than one.
I don't like talking to someone.
Always nice to have backups after all.
Makes me upset.
Excellent. You've done us a great service. Here is your
You
reward.
have something to say,
Until
dog?
next time.
Something on your mind?
Huh.
All this standing around is rubbish. You should be taken to
Really?
fight with the
Called me a
strong
dog? Clearly, they don't know their felines from their canines. Of course, I always love it when some of the characters on the road, or some of the bad guys you face, sit there and say, "You'll make a nice rug, cat." And I'm always sitting there thinking, but I don't work in textiles. 'Cause I don't. Okay, so we still have some time left. That's one of the big things. Wait, what's this one? You haven't finished that one? Let's finish that one. Bum bum bum. Where? It was just here. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. So here we go. Yeah, because I'm gonna have to do artwork that, I mean, not necessarily on this kind of scale, because that's a little too intensive for, you know, like a flat piece of paper, especially one in a book. And there's still all the cartography and the actual dungeon maps. I mean, I can do certain things relatively simply on my own, but I still need practice for things like landscapes, characters, armor specifics, Zoblin Gombies. Little things like that. I know I probably should have been grabbing all the mushrooms I could find as I went, but I believe our weight limit is back up. So I'll grab what I can. At least until it says that I'm out. So. Okay, so we have to defeat someone's mother up here. Could have sworn we'd already done this, but I could be wrong. Huh. If I have been there, then, well, I forgot to deal with that chest, I guess. Kind of need the money. Which is weird, because it's the first time in Skyrim since, like, my first couple of games where I'm actually short on cash. What's up this way? Whoops. What'd I do? I walked into a spike. Why'd I do that? I was too busy looking around. No, that's not it. Over here then? No, that's not it. So we go this way, and over to the other door, I guess. forgotten where I'm supposed to go, mostly because it's been a while. I hope this isn't just something that glitched. Go running all the way over here in order to take care of something that has been taken care of this whole time. Well, that's definitely helpful. The creepiest thing about this is the fact that there hasn't been anything. Whether an NPC or an enemy. It's just quiet and empty. Am I the only one who gets creeped out by stuff like that? Oh yeah, it was it had glitched. Well, gotta take the dagger. Yeah, so I have been here, it's just it had glitched and I still can't seem to get it to work. I'm not even sure what the glitch was. So I'm not sure how to fix it. Wait, let's take a look at the map. That's a whole lot of nothing over there. But is it really nothing? Let's go find out. What's it gonna do? Give me a sign that says dead end? There's nothing really on the map, and yet new weapon. I don't know where this is or what this is. But it's new to me. And it's not marked on the map at all. This is why I love the whole exploration stuff. Because, I mean, yeah, eventually you'll end up reaching points on the map where it will say you cannot go that way. I mean, it's not actually a sign that says dead end, but close enough. Probably like right over this ridge or something. Really? Not even here? Well, I'm willing to ride this as far as it'll go, at least within the amount of time we got left. that away for now. I want to keep with the whole stealthing thing, because being in unknown and unfamiliar territory, so it's more that end that would be cut off, it looks like. Because there's definitely some dwarven ruins over here. Or Dwemer ruins, I should say. Because each world has their own groups and their own names for those groups. With D&D at least, you can just sit there and be like, well, this is where you're most likely to find these kinds of folks. And I love the whole concept of taking the traditional and expected tropes regarding things like kobolds and goblins and the tensions between the various actual races. Instead of keeping with the traditional, which would mean players making the assumption that it's a goblin, so it's a bad guy. And that's not necessarily the case. Or it's a kobold, or an orc, and not necessarily even a half-orc. But the whole idea of being able to sit there and be like, no, 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 these are just normal people. They're just going to work and shopping and trying to survive just like all of you. Really makes people have to rethink their concepts approaching it, when it's more a concept of, well, they may be goblins, but these ones are also absolute jerks and they're killing people. Oh, well, in that case, because plenty of groups of other D&D races are quite capable of doing the exact same thing. So when you kind of alter the perspective to just, hey, these guys are bad guys because they're bad guys, not because of any kind of racial tie to it, kind of fixes, for me, kind of fixes a lot of the whole alignment issue. Because alignment is more about perspective than the way it's explained. I think that's the best way to put it. Because, like, the whole lawful good, I understand the concept of lawful good. But the second your character goes somewhere else, whether it's another country, another plane of existence, all of those laws and rules and stuff that they grew up following are no longer valid. Which makes it a little more difficult to sit there and go, well, they're lawful good. Okay, well, the laws where you are now are different than where you grew up. Are you still lawful? And that kind of forces that altered perspective and really kind of points out the fact of alignment is more how you see the world, not what you are, if that makes any sense. So if players in my games don't want to use alignment at all, I'm perfectly fine with that as well. Although it case in point, it was absolutely amazing to have run a session to the point where the lawful good character, a paladin, and the openly neutral evil character got into an argument over the life of a 12-year-old girl. Now, the obvious outsider view coming to that with the lawful good paladin would be, well, the sorceress is obviously trying to kill the child and the paladin is trying to save it. Well, those two sat and argued until midnight of the girl's 13th birthday, with the lawful good paladin arguing for the death of the girl and the evil sorceress wanting to save the girl's life, which is not something you normally would get when you think about alignment. Now, from both of their perspectives, both characters were correct. Because after all, the little girl turned out to be a hag. And hags are not something you really want to mess with. Oh, I know where I am now. But alas, our time is running short, at least for the moment. We will be hosting Pub Draw if folks want to join us for that. You're welcome. You're more than welcome to go over to Critical Role's channel and watch it there. After all, it is their channel, their show, and they are amazing people. But sometimes it can be hard to keep up with chat there. So if folks want to watch it with us here, that is more than welcome for you to do. Currently, however, going to run us back to the house for our usual sign-off. We will be back tonight. I don't know exactly what time, but we will be back tonight in order to build at least one character with our patron. So don't forget, folks, we do have a Patreon and a coffee, and all the other information that you might need is there or here, or feel free to ask any one of those locations and we'll get a hold of you somehow. In the meantime, we are doing what we can to try and keep things moving forward. There's a lot of work left to do for our next one-shot. I'm keeping my fingers crossed and hoping that we will have that available to the public in full by Christmas. Hoping. Fingers crossed, folks. If not, then by the new year. Depending on art. The art side of things will probably be the most time consuming. Although I have gotten more writing done since starting this RPG workshop than I've been able to get done, like, in a single sitting in probably a good couple of years. So that's definitely a good thing. Wow. I mean, that right there is a beautiful landscape. Now I just got to watch more Bob Ross and learn how to paint it.
Bright out here. I don't know how you stand it.
Anyway, I do want to thank folks for joining us. We will be switching over. Oh, wait. Let's get our save in here. We will be hosting Critical Role's Pub Draw following this. A little bit later tonight. Don't know exactly when, but we will work something out. We will be on for at least one character creation and some chatting, if nothing else. And no rush on the character creation, Andres, aka Alex, our patron. Just to make sure that that's thrown out there as much as possible. I believe an audio shout out is part of the package deal. But I'm more than happy just to say it anyway. No rush on trying to create the character, so we can sit there and go through each and every one of the races and classes and options all you want. So cool. Well, that would be very much appreciated if so. And if so, then adjustments will be made to credits and audio shoutouts for future endeavors. In the meantime, we will be back as quick as we can. We are on save number... I lost track. Is it 344? Okay. So we're on 344. I do want to thank everyone for joining us who has joined us. For those who may be watching later, thank you for stopping by to watch. Very much appreciated. And we will be working diligently in order to continue getting both our digital entertainment stuff and our tabletop games prepped and ready for at least testing on air before release. So do hope everyone is more than willing to join us for the ensuing journey ahead of us, because as I say, journey of a million steps begins with a single footstep. And well, we took that a little while ago, and we're slow starting, but we're getting there. And we definitely want to thank everyone for joining us for the journey so far, and thank everyone for being willing to kind of see where things go. This is new to us, and we're doing our best. However, I do have a few things I got to get done. I definitely got to get a little bit of work in on the one shot before we can do our character creation tonight. So if folks are willing to stick around, I will be available. Well, at least me, if not other folks as well, will be available in chat during our hosted program. Otherwise, feel free to go over to Critical Role's channel for watching it there. Until later on tonight, folks, I am Geroya'lor Kyr. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye for now. Thank you all for joining us. Please give us a follow on twitch.tv/awolvesdengames. Long days and pleasant nights. Jate ka nade, or good night everyone.